Welcome to Navarrero's online showcase video, M.I.A. edition. Today I want to talk to you guys about neglect. Not only neglect for Mr. Rerosen's legs, but also neglect for some of the engines that I've been dealing with here and how I've been treating them before. You see, I have this massive, beautiful roundhouse, which is basically guest accommodation. So only here for any road-going engine coming in, just bringing stuff over and then waiting for their things to be taken care of and just staying here as long as it needs to. While a lot of the other engines, which are a more permanent fixture on this yard, and there's basically 8 of them, 2 of them helping with loading and unloading, and 6 having other specific duties, and it's always very tough work that puts them to their limits, where I personally chose the engines in order to make sure they can do this one specific task, and they are just sitting on the tracks here looking like they have been forgotten. This is the parking lot for this train, and it's not longer, it's not shorter, it's just always gonna be Henny, Penny, and 6 steak flats. But both of them are just completely open to the weather. They sit out here day and night, sun and rain, wind and weather, whatever comes, they just have to take it, and it's kinda sad. And I want to change something about it. Not today. I'm gonna do it off screen most likely, but I finally realized that this is a problem and I should be doing something about it, so I will see what I can do about it. At the end of the day, I don't want to put them just into the roundhouse, however. I kinda like that they are ready for action and don't need to have the full train assembled. I might make a little yard over here with maybe a few switches and something that they can use as cover, but it's not gonna be like fully disassembled and putting everything further away so it needs like 10 minutes to reassemble. I want it to be quick and easy, but it should also be a bit better for the engines and yeah, work out a lot better overall. Something like what I've done over here for the climaxes. These are 4 engines that I use for crude oil deliveries, bringing the stuff straight up from the yard right here to the refinery up there. It's a tough job. I need 4 climaxes to transport 12 cars at once. And finally I've done something to make them feel a bit more cared for. Before that was just all like... Initially it was even just one siding. Going from here right to there, and that was just about it. At some point I realized that I never really drive through here, and it's really just yeah, I think that's gonna be entered from both directions. So 11.1 and 11.2 go from here, and they always come out this direction. They always enter that that direction if they just gonna be parked somewhere. And the 11.3 and 11.4 do the same over here. So it makes sense having that as 2 sidings, and I finally found a way to make it look a little bit more cozy for them. So they all now have a roof, we have a proper platform in between, making it easy to get in and out, a bit more decoration, and I think this just really adds so much to the entire thing here. So expect something like this for other similar situations, like the 2 ruby basins over there, but also I got the whole base camp over here with another set of ruby basins. Also the lookout express, but that thing might just stay like that, I'm not entirely sure yet. Also the yard over here, where we of course can find our gold supplier train. I think I might do something here as well. I think that would really just make everything come together so much nicer. Currently, by the way, the gold supplier engine, the C125, is over there in the roundhouse that we just saw earlier. Same for the first C125 that I bought, extra oil in there, is also currently in here. Because yeah, the crude oil train didn't see much business recently since I've always been focusing so much on the gold industry chain. But I would like to do another few sets of runs with the crude oil train. Would be nice to show you guys that as well because it's always it's kind of fun. But I think first up we would do the iron mine supply and then maybe get into this whole thing. But yeah, both C125s currently here, and the last C125 that I have is also at the smelter, funnily enough. It's over in this engine shed. So that's where we can find the ones for the two engines for the cordwood train. So everything comes together here for some reason. It's kind of funny. And yeah, that means that I now have like 4 different places for the for all the engines. We have one engine shed over here for the cordwood trains. We have one for one of the helper engines right here. The other side is basically empty all the time. We have that little roof area that I just showed you and the big roundhouse for anything that passes through here. So it's it's kind of cool. It's gonna get a few more things since this is one of my most busy yards that I have here on the playthrough. But yeah, the only engine that right now doesn't really have a plan for would be this one right here. And I should still rename them. We have 40, Class 48 Olivia and Olivia, which basically used to come from the oil field and used to work over there, but I moved them over and they still don't have proper names for here, so that's more reflective of their past job. And I might actually just try and add another engine shed over here. You know what, let's go with a red one. I wish I could shorten them down. There is the option to do that with the props, just rescaling them in Railroad Studio, but it doesn't really work with facilities. So, I don't know. I don't think I can go too far in this direction because when I'm blocking off other track, this is kind of blocking off part of the storage here. I would have to see how that comes out if I get this fully loaded up. But this one right now, at least being a bit more covered over, I think this is nice. But yeah, if I load this up and the cordwood just clips through a wall here, then I would have to change it. So I'm gonna have to see how that looks once everything is loaded, and it's gonna take a while. But yeah, I wanna do some more things like this. I think this is really an improvement. Besides all of this, let's take a look at a different area. I talked about this a while ago and a few episodes ago without really talking about it. I finally put in the logging camp yard from my Aurora Falls playthrough. So this is the exact same layout. I mean, on the Aurora Falls playthrough I come in through this side with cordwood on the left and logs on the right, but with how the place over here worked out, I had more space the other direction for the sidings that I wanted to have. So it needed to be switched around a little bit. But this should be fun to deal with. Honestly, the only thing I would like more than this would be getting a yard for my Lake Valley playthroughs. Over there I always had like these short sidings going through, but while those were really amazing for just passing through the entire thing, over here it wouldn't work out too well because, I mean, okay, I have the whole turnaround here, so that might work, but what makes the version on Lake Valley a bit different and more unique is that you really come in through one end, go through the entire thing and pass through to the other side. If I did the same thing over here and just ended up pushing the cars along and back together into a train, I would be blocking off the main line and I cannot have that. I could of course try and turn this into a bridge, but I think that would be that wouldn't be a good idea either. And I don't want to go around the entire mountain here in order to come back. I mean, overall, this area is pretty much a massive loop, but it's a bit too massive to use it as a turnaround area. So I think for right now, I'm gonna stick with this. It's practically not too different from what I had before, but it's working out in a slightly different way, and I really like how it came together. Again, this place right here would likely need to add some things to make this all a bit more covered up for the engine. After all, the engine is usually gonna be staying around here. I mean, I could pretty much just put it into an engine shed. That wouldn't be the worst idea. I'm also considering maybe switching out the Betsy right here, maybe for another 10 mile. We have one at the ironworks. The thing is, it's really hard to find a good job for Betsy. She is kinda good at yard work. Light engine, and for its weight, actually pretty powerful. But overall, in absolute terms, it's not that strong. It's, I think, the weakest engine in the game pretty much. So while I still like Betsy, it's really hard finding a good place for her. I have another two porters, the longer versions. One of them I'm still happily using at the refinery, which is something where I need an engine that isn't so long. And I went for the longer version because that one has um, a lot more firewood on it. And since I don't have any firewood resupply area up there, and it would need to go down to the smelter area for refueling, I felt better with having a bit more capacity. But good old Betsy here, she really should have a good job. I also have another longer porter that I initially considered having at the logging camp over there, but now it's kinda retired because it just didn't really work out. And I think with what I set up there, I can usually just take the road engine, and that should be doing it. But yeah, right now let's just go through here and take a look at my engine shed. There's still a few engines I would like in here, but right now I kinda have so many going that I don't really need anymore. We have of course Mountaineer, my original Ruby Basin, which I'm still occasionally using, but not quite as much anymore due to the fuel usage and all of that. We still have at least one of the Cock Moguls right here. Pretty useful engine. I think I'm using the other one as a dedicated one for something, but I don't fully remember honestly. Of course, Roadrunner, our Glenbrook right here. Still fun engine, still pretty useful as long as it's not going onto any steep grades. And of course the, God, what's the name of this again? The Lima, or Lima or whatever. Likely the most powerful engine right now that I have for general work. All the C125s are for specialized usage, and I always want to get another Twin C just for regular work. And yeah, since I'm now using the Twin C for the cordwood train as well, that doesn't work out. So it's all kind of, I don't know. I'm in a weird in-between state right now with all the engines and everything I have. I have a lot of stuff going on, and that's kind of nice. But I don't have all the stuff that I want at the different points. And also I'm considering maybe getting a few more engines just because on this playthrough there's only a handful that I have never used, and I might as well do that. But at the same time, I don't really need them, so I don't know. I would still need to buy the Eureka Cook Consolidation, which is a really nice engine anyways. The Class 70. And again, I would like to have another Twin C for regular work, as well as most likely it would be a good idea to just have another Class 125 for regular stuff as well. But that's pretty much it, I think. Oh, I don't have a Shay either. But I don't really have a yard where I could use the Shay, so that's not really in the cards right now. I used a Shay before and I was decently happy with it. That was before the Steam cutoff sim came out and cut down all the top speeds. 7 mile per hour um, Shay is not amazing, but it's alright if you have a yard that doesn't need to travel long distances. So for something that's really set up for it, it's a very good engine. But for a lot of stuff, it's just absolute garbage, and I would rather pick it up with a re-rail tool and carry it where it needs to go. So yeah. I don't really need every single engine in this playthrough, but since this is kinda the main playthrough, I also wouldn't be against just having that. Also, at this point, while there are still some things to be done with the gold industry chain, I'm considering to maybe still add the wheat farm stuff after all, just have a few more industries and kind of send it all off with that. Eventually, at least, I don't know. If there were to be another industry chain added to the playthrough or to the game overall, I would rather get that, but the question is if I don't have anything new to add beside the wheat farm, is it better to get that or just nothing? I don't know. I'm still a bit tired of the whole thing after doing so much of it on Aurora Falls, but yeah. But I can still do a few more projects here and there. In some sense, maybe something completely new would be nice. I would also like to have a position where I can just put down the dredge and see how well that works. But I don't know. You know what, we might as well check it out real quick. Maybe I can hide it somewhere in the side of a mountain or so. I think that might be the best shot. You know what, let's just gameplay, turn to day again. I know this is a bit random and all what I'm doing here, but I mainly want to show you guys the logging camp and what I did at the smelter, so that's the main thing right now. Oh yeah, that doesn't really work because when you place down the industry, it's focusing on the dredge and not the pier. If it was the pier, then maybe I could get the dredge stuck in the mountain somewhere, and it would just be the pier, and I would then just add another building there just to make it look like something. But the dredge itself, I tried already. It doesn't really have a good place where you can put it. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, enough about that. What we could be doing now, I kind of want to get some supply train going, like trying out the doing the crude oil delivery and stuff like that. I mean, I would need to do a supply run for the oil field beforehand, and that's also kind of interesting with how things are set up. But looking at this, I think I'm missing some stuff as well. Let's check out what the industry needs here. So I think we need more raw iron. We still have decent amount of lumber, but yeah, raw iron is kinda a bit low right now. So let's do some stuff over here. And yeah, this is a really similar setup to what I showed you guys earlier. No idea what's going on with the truck over there. And it's so convenient just walking in here without having to climb up. It's just, it's nice. So this is basically where I took the idea from for what I did with climaxes. And yeah, we should now be going past the building to the other side. I already added the Lincoln pin and now I just jumped off the entire engine. Oh yeah, this is another one where you can't really get into too well anymore. So it's better to just click on the engine with, or point at it, press the F key at the right moment and just be teleported in. So let's see that we get a few more supply runs done. I think I might also be getting low on coal, so that would be, I mean, 44, that's still alright. We are over here. That whole map thing is still messing me up. Okay, I think I need to actually read the signs. I don't know which way to go. I think we need to go to the right. Oh yeah, iron, full, empty. We need to go to the full. And yeah, just a few days ago I got the idea to do this for a switch. So it's now showing both sides. So iron full is to the left side, iron empty cars are to the right. I mean, at that point they are just basically stake cars, but since I'm always going to be using this for iron specifically, it's better to keep them together. And now we just pull a few cars ahead. Oh, another thing that I changed about this, I almost forgot. This is something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, but I only could find out how to do this recently. I always wanted to make it so that if you come into one of the places here with the engine, you can disconnect the engine, drive into the turntable, and there should be a way to get out of here without going onto one of the other sidings. Because those could theoretically all be full. It's very unlikely for that to happen, but it's an option, and yeah, the better idea would be to just have another track right here that connects back to the entrance. With everything going on in this area, however, I always had the hardest time figuring out where to put another switch. This area, even if I could have made that work, getting to the turntable from there, it just wasn't happening. But eventually I finally figured out how to place this thing, even though I need to move this switch, and with that the rest of the entire Y over here, including this crossover and everything, it's a whole deal. This entire thing with a certain minimum band radius, it's always gonna mean that if you do something, something else will need to change as well. But I managed to make it work. I think the end part of the trombone here, or what you would like to call it, I mean, I know trumpet interchange, and this kind of reminds me of that. Now it looks a bit more clean instead of everything coming together over here. It's just going straight, and half the tracks are now being turned into stoppers. The other three for the incoming engines now go into the turntable, and it's looking pretty sleek, I would say. Really happy with it. And the cool thing now is that once I start unloading here, or for the two inside tracks that would be loading, since they go to the other side of the industry, I can now push the cars back here, and I know that they are not gonna run into the turntable or something. They are going to go into a stopper, and that makes everything a bit more, yeah, a bit more secure. Also, it's kind of nice because that now means that every single track has a different purpose. Beforehand it was like, yeah, those two right here, they were for raw iron, but it didn't matter which way I came in, if I went on the more inside track or the very outside. Right now it's just, there's a specific purpose for every single track, and you need to take care of it that you take the right one. But it's not for no good reason. There is a purpose behind that, and I'm pretty happy about it. I wonder if I could get the raw iron empty over here and then send it over to be refilled at the smelter as well, and then just do refilling the rail car and the raw iron car just simultaneously. That might get me around some of the limitations with industry wasting in this, the resources and all of that. If I just keep both sides empty to some degree. Also, when it comes to money, yeah, I'm basically almost at the point where I can buy another class 125, but I think I'm pretty much at the point in this game now, and this is not going to allow me to get in through the door. I think I'm kind of done making money. I don't need it anymore. There's still going to be a few things around here that I want to buy, check out, optimize and all of that. I mean, I still need to do more stuff with the gold industry chain, but it's not gonna be anything really demanding. Or at least it's not gonna be so expensive that I have to be careful not to run out of money or something. That's another reason why I'm considering maybe adding the other industries after all. Because running out of things to buy is not something that I usually enjoy. So I'll have to see about that. Okay, let's move over to empty. And I think I should stop restocking here, because otherwise we might run into these being filled up. We have tools already full, but that's something that just happens all the time. And steel pipes, I don't know if I need any more for one single delivery. I don't even think so. So this might already be well prepared for the oil supply train to come back in. I might also have to check out how things are going at the refinery. There might be a few things that need resupplies as well. I usually just have a massive train up there for one for the pipes, one for the lumber, and I just keep the stuff around there on the just on the tracks, rolling storage or what you want to call it. And whenever I need it, then I'm gonna go there. Doing this stuff, just doing the resupplies whenever I need it there, it's just, it's a bit of work. I thought I had the thing grabbed and pulled it fully up, but no. Apparently not. Okay, let's check out the cars. They are slowly but surely rolling towards the end of the track. I don't know when the part is gonna end there. There's definitely a few more of the raw iron cars left than I expected. So we still have a bit more to go before we need another resupply, which is also a nice thing. Besides that, I could also theoretically finally get rid of all of these. There was an update where the hoppers wouldn't be able to deposit the coal into the coal tower. It would just go way too far out, and I use this to basically get that back in there. So really using it as ramp, but if it wasn't for the fact that that's technically a building, I think it would still look pretty nice. That's why I haven't gotten rid of it yet. Yeah, the stopper working as it should. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything here. I could of course just fill up the entire industry here and maybe then steer how much I'm producing using the lumber. There's not really too much left of it either. But I'm gonna have to wait and see. Coal is still alright. It's not a lot, but it barely needs anything to work, so I don't usually care too much about the coal here. I still need to replenish the beams right here. I think they are pretty much empty. Yeah. I used to have another siding right here for the rails when I still wanted to do the rail supply from this part as well. But in the end, the other way is it's way more convenient. It's a more direct track, and it was a nice little project to do, so I'm pretty happy with that. The one thing I'm considering right now is maybe still putting this back in and just doubling up on the amount of cars that I have here for the beams. So right now I have 12 beam cars that can load over to the stay cars right here, which are then going to be used to bring the stuff up to the coal mine. But yeah, these cars are industry specific, while these ones are more like road going. Then again, they're also usually being used as storage over here, so they're kind of a hybrid. But yeah, I could maybe add a few more if I was to make use of this track for the same purpose. I'm not entirely sure if it would be long enough for 12. It would be a bit tight. But should be alright, I don't know. I'd have to see about it. But yeah, this is working out pretty well. I would still also need to take care of getting some cover for Lenny and Kenny over here. That's gonna be a bit tough because I don't want to just put a roundhouse or something at either end and then just put them in there. I still want it to be decently easy to get them set up for their next job and not just make it so that I need to waste a lot of time getting them back into position. So I'm gonna have to explore a few options on how I could do that. But yeah, apart from that, right now everything is looking pretty good here, so yeah, I think we're gonna keep it like that. But yeah, it's just been I don't know, it's just been an episode where I didn't really want to do anything big. I didn't have that much to show, but the thing is, if I don't show some stuff for a while, then I completely forget about it, and yeah, it's just been a bit of the odd jobs. Gonna do that sometimes as well. But yeah, next episode, I'm gonna have to see. I'm likely gonna do some supply run. I just have to make up my mind on which one it's gonna be. And also the question is, when I want to do the oil field supply, do I show loading the beams up? It's not really that long, but it's kind of a task. But then again, the yard work involved with that is also kind of part of the whole thing. So I don't know, I would have to see about it. Yeah, no idea right now. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Next one, hopefully a bit more action, and hopefully it's gonna go a bit better than the last one, where I was constantly fighting derailments. It took me a few days after that to come back here. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. Until then, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.